Thanks for your support as a channel member, Ren's Nans! Hello folks, welcome to a brand new video and welcome to my debut in the MSR Racing League on F1 25. I joined this new league and I was keen to make an impact. I was reserving around Austria, a sprint weekend where we take on the Austria reverse circuit for the sprint and the normal circuit for the Grand Prix. Let's see how I got on. Straight into qualifying then, and it's one shot and we're taking on Austria in reverse. Heading down to turn 1, get the braking zone right. Just about hooked up the apex, but we are currently 12th of the 13 drivers in this lobby. Things are going alright at the moment, considering I've not got any force feedback, but well, that's that lap goal. It gives me a chance to reset my force feedback ahead of the race. So qualifying didn't really go to plan, but hopefully this sprint race, 12 laps of Austria in reverse, can go a bit better. Good launch off the line, but nowhere to go. The Haas and the Williams creating a rolling roadblock. I actually get a collision warning there. That's a bit harsh, but into turn 1, everyone through relatively safely. A little bit of wheel banging up ahead. The Haas runs a bit wide. The Williams looking to get back ahead, but the Haas holds onto position. I'm just sitting calmly here, waiting for the carnage to come. Off goes the Williams, through goes Aaron. And there's the Red Bull running a little bit wide. Easy to run wide at the first of the double right-handers. The Williams is having a look up the inside. I'm not sure if he's one to be wary of. And he's having a look up the inside as I try and take a late apex. And there might have been some contact there, I'm not sure. But we're still just about in range, but we are losing touch with the pack, which is concerning. Early braking, and there is the Williams. Wow, like a missile down the inside. Thank goodness I hadn't already turned in. So goodbye to the wild Williams, and we are on the back of this trio as we head into turn 1. We brake as late as possible. We give the Sauber a little bit of a bump. Nobody cares. Got a bit of help there from us. Next lap, lap 2, and off goes the Haas. So that's another position gained. 11th place for me. And the Haas even gets 10 seconds for, I'm guessing, corner cutting there? Not quite sure. I did manage to stay with that group for a little while, but eventually I dropped off and ended up picking up a 3-second time penalty, which wasn't ideal, but I don't do Austria reverse particularly often. I don't have a setup for it, so it was just about getting up to speed. We move on to the final lap, and Frozen actually picks up a second time penalty, so he's up to 6 seconds now, and that means a top 10 finish is available to me as the Haas and the Williams collide. They'd been banging wheels the entire race. The Williams was eliminated. We get to the final corner and Frozen is less than 3 seconds clear of me, so I pick up a top 10 finish in the sprint race. No points sadly, but that's how it goes. Van Bergen takes the win ahead of the 2 Aston Martins, and then there's the McLaren and the Ferrari as we move straight into qualifying in the wet for the main race. Full wet conditions. I've gone with a dry setup and everything's going fine. It's not a spectacular lap. We're in 9th position as we approach the final sector. Track limits always difficult here. We're up to 8th. And now we're about to gain a whole bunch of positions up to 5th place as we complete qualifying. Several drivers invalidating, getting disqualified, and I will take a lovely P5. I had considered intermediates, but Brian in the Haas showing that inters were not the play. 2.3 seconds off. It wasn't my best lap, but it was enough for P5, so that will do. On to the main Grand Prix then, and a slight change of the strategy. It started with a hard, medium, medium setting. I've switched it to medium, hard, medium. We're going to take a little bit of fuel out, anticipating some form of safety car in this race, and I think we are ready for a start. So P5, sunny skies, here come the lights. We've got 3, 4, 5 red lights. In Austria, the lights are out and the race is on. It's a good start for me, launching immediately up into P4. And we're challenging the guys who are starting in the top 3 here. Looking around the outside of the V-carb, little jink, and he forces me wide. The Aston Martin of Numpty comes back through and we remain in P5. There's a McLaren spun at the back. Yellow flags are out, but it's not affecting me. I'm having a look at down the outside of the Aston Martin, but no way through there. Just trying to stay out of trouble. Almost forced off the track, but it's all good. No one has come through. Numpty is on the mediums ahead of me, and then the V-carb is on the hard, so maybe there's an opportunity to make some progress here. There's an Aston Martin leading ahead of a Red Bull. We've maintained our top 5 position on this opening lap. How's things looking in the middle sector? There's a little bit of contact by the look of it up the front, and the Red Bull of Johnny has dropped to 3rd. And maybe, because he's on the hards, maybe the hards are taking a little longer to warm up and to be effective. But as we complete the first lap, clean enough for me. Could have gained some ground, but I'm happy to be still in P5. And now the DRS train can begin as it's enabled at the end of lap 1. Moving on to lap 4, DRS train in full flow, and we are chasing the same drivers ahead of us. There's not been any change so far. Braking late into the hairpin, a little bit of contact up the front. The Aston Martin that was leading the race is now off the road, and they're 3-4 wide at one point there. And we're being challenged by the Sauber. We're just trying to stay out of harm's way. Johnny doesn't have DRS, so I'm going to pounce. I'm going to go down the inside, take the apex, leave a little bit of space on exit. A little squirm under acceleration, but we're through and into P4. This is all going rather well, isn't it? And we're sticking with the front runners. The medium tyres seem to be working quite nicely. And now we're staring at a potential podium finish. Timo picks up 3 seconds. Not getting warnings and picking up time penalties, always critical around Austria, as you can see, being very careful not to run wide between the final 2 corners or to cut that final turn too much. You will get a corner cutting warning for that. And round we go again. Lap 5, the DRS games can begin once again. A little slide as we exit turn 1, and P4 might be about to become P5 as El Soup goes through in the Sauber. We'll go into harvesting the battery. Timo decides he wants to have a look at getting past as well. Absolutely not. And we're going to blast out of turn 3 and retain 5th position, fending off the Ferrari. The pole sitter Johnny, who had those moments earlier with the Aston Martins, is now down to 7th. His race isn't working well. Tyres are okay, they're not great, nor's the understeer. But as we move on to lap 6, we've just lost DRS to the top 4. El Super's got 3 seconds. Timo now has 6 seconds as he comes past us. He decides not to take the position into turn 1, or does he? Yes, he does. He's cut the corner there, so he'll pick up a warning as he picks up the position. Here comes Van Bergen in the other Red Bull. Sprint race winner, of course. And I'm just going to let him go because he's quite quick, so we'll just try and follow him through here. I suppose that might be the play. The hards are now becoming the tyre to have after 7 laps. Well, as we are about a third of the way through lap 7. Van Bergen looking for a way past Timo. Well, I'm just going to sit in behind here and see if I can scoop up any disasters. We run a bit wide at turn 1. We do escape a warning, but the McLaren is now going to be right on my tail. So the hards are definitely the tyre to have right now. We're defending the inside. We're braking as late as possible. McLaren has it around the outside. We defend that nicely. Position the car well. Decent traction out of turn 3. That was good all race. I can tell you, the traction was quite good. But DRS even more good for the McLaren. So we're down to P8. And anyone who knows me knows I love a P8 finish. So maybe we'll just stay here the entire race. Well, no, maybe not. We're going to go wide and we're going to lose a position to the pole sitter. And we're down to 9th. But the Williams is right behind me. So is Frozen. And then there's a couple of cars behind as well. But at the moment, still on course for a points finish. Tyres not looking great. We're scheduled to pit around lap 11. So I've got to bear this out a little bit more. And sticking in Johnny's DRS is helpful. And also Van Bergen being spun round is helpful too. So we're back up into P8. That's good news. And the man who won the sprint is now P last in this Grand Prix. DRS on the main straight as drivers head into the pit lane for the first time on lap 10, end of lap 9. And we're following Johnny still. We're deploying the battery. But actually I'm going to tactically try and position myself to get DRS out of the... Oh, that's way too late on the brakes, Aaron. What on earth is that? Well, that's what you get for trying to play DRS chicken. You try and outsmart everybody else and you end up outbraking yourself. Well done. I've got egg all over my face now and I look like an absolute idiot. But we are giving the room to the Williams of Skyers, who's got a time penalty of 3 seconds. And we're just about hanging on to P7. But of course, I am yet to stop. And all those drivers who have already stopped will get a bit of an undercut because tyre wear is quite heavy around Austria. So we'll probably need to stop maybe this lap or the lap after. We're going to go another lap. We're going to stick to the strategy as Johnny, the pole sitter on the hard tyres, only makes it to lap 10 on his hard tyres. So either he's got really high tyre wear or he's strategically going for the undercut. Into the pit lane we go. We're following in Frozen. We go past the McLaren as the pit crew go to work for him. And now the Alpine guys go to work for me. There we go. And we leave the pit lane and we're going to be in 11th place. We might even be last if the Williams and the Sauber go by. Yes, they do. We are P last in this race, but there's still a couple of drivers yet to stop. And we've got DRS to attack these two, who are squabbling. So we are immediately back into the fight. It's been quite frantic, this race. I mean, relatively calm, but when the fights have come, it has been quite intense, which I enjoyed. Really enjoyed the battling around this track. It's just a good circuit for racing. Right, lap 13, unlucky for some, and it might be unlucky for skiers here, because I've got DRS. I've also got some battery to deploy. And here we go. Are we going to make it through? We're going to give a lot of space. Maybe a bit too much. But we've got the job done. And we are up into P11 because Van Bergen stopped and came out in last position. He's now going to go past me. We're going to go a little bit wide. We're going to pick up our first exceeding track limits warning. Not ideal. Van Bergen's going to come blasting past on his medium tyres with DRS. But again, the plan will be just to follow him. If we can stick with him and keep his DRS, which we do just about at the end of the lap, but we pick up another track limits warning. Van Bergen sets the fastest lap, but I am playing with fire here. I really don't want a 3-second penalty because everybody around me, as you can see on the leaderboard, has 3 seconds. So if I can just sort of sit in the train, that's a few positions for me. And to be fair, the leaders aren't all that far away. I'm here at turn 3. Oh, we've got collisions up in front of us. Fantastic. Nobody Cares and Johnny are tangling. We're past Johnny. Looks like he might have... Oh my gosh, what is going on here? Why? I think Nobody Cares had an illegal overtake, was trying to give it back, and obviously didn't realise that I was right behind. But it's okay. Nobody died. It's all good. No one was eliminated from the race. Now, we're still ahead of Johnny because he ran wide. So we did pick up a position through all of that. And with drivers around me having 3 seconds, just to finish off my earlier point, it's important that I don't get one too. We're up the inside of Nobody Cares. A little bit of wheel banging. And just about hanging on to the place is the Sauber driver. It's all fine. Not a problem. We're now approaching half race distance, and well, there it is. Well, 3 seconds for me. I don't really want to get up to 6 because it's so easy to pick up track limits around Austria, especially when the tyres go and you lose a little bit of concentration. We brake late into turn 3, and we've got a yellow flag at turn 1. The Aston Martin appears to have crashed in the pit lane, and there is the safety car. Thorpe is out. And we are in the pit lane. 3 seconds of time penalties for me. 6 for Zvalander and 6 for Frozen. The two McLaren drivers failing to keep it within track limits. So is Brian in the Haas. He's on 9. And we're out on a set of medium tyres. It's a little bit early for my final stop, but a couple of laps under safety car, and we should be alright. So Numpty leads. Remember, he started in front of me in P4. And then Dalku Ninja in the Racing Bulls is 3rd. El Soup is 5th. I am currently in 8th. Everyone is on the medium tyre as we prepare for the restart. And here we go. We're accelerating quite early, it would seem, towards the final corner. Or are we even going? That was an interesting restart. Maybe the leader went and then got sort of held by the game. What is Timo up to? Come on, bro, you can go. He has just created an enormous gap between himself and the top 5. He's cost himself a position. He's just picked up 10 seconds worth of penalties. Frozen's diving down my inside. That restart from Timo has been extremely unhelpful for me. I'm now under attack in basically every direction. Here comes the Haas. Johnny, our pole sitter, is now our last runner in the race. Van Bergen's been forced off the track there by the look of it by the Ferrari. And they're going to renew acquaintances. Or no, in fact, Van Bergen has got through. Timo is now defending from Frozen, who runs off the track. I've got DRS. Lap 28. What can I do here into the braking zone? We're going to close up on Timo. Looks like he trimmed the corner there slightly. He appears to be slow, so I need to take advantage of this opportunity and go for it. I don't want him holding me up. We're down the inside into turn 4. It's a cleanish move, but it's not quite done yet. We're going to need to use the battery, which we didn't use on the run towards the braking zone, and that's paid dividends because it's allowed me to sweep into 8th place in the middle sector. And now we can go after Frozen, but the big gap that Timo has created means that Van Bergen is now running on his own, and the top 5 are in a DRS train. So maybe P7's about as good as we can do here. And what was that? Timo has just crashed out of the race, and that's another safety car. So there's only 6 laps to go at the end of this one, so we were left with a decision to make. I waited to see if everyone went in for softs. They didn't, so this is the lap later, and I decided it was worth the risk. From P8, Johnny had already taken that decision, so that's a position already lost. That's fine. And remember, he was on pole position. So in we go, making sure we don't get any ludicrous game glitching penalties. The Haas has also stopped for soft tyres, but he's miles behind. So I'll only lose 1 place, which I probably would have lost anyway without stopping. So it's all fine. I don't see this as an issue. The Haas is in the pit lane again as we prepare to go racing once more. So there's going to be maybe 4 laps of racing. I'm getting invites to do open lobbies from Ben. I'm a bit busy, Ben. I'm sorry. I can't play right now. But we're about to go racing once again. End of lap 32. Deploy the battery. Can the soft tyres vault me up the order? Where can I finish in all of this? Currently P9. Picking up another track limits warning, which definitely isn't useful. I actually picked up one under the safety car, cutting turn 4. So I think that's my last one before I get 6 seconds of penalties. Brian is now on 12. Johnny's making some progress as we complete lap 33. There's a bit of contact with Van Bergen there in front. Having a look up the inside of Frozen. And it's all very close. The leaders are basically stringing us along. It's very, very tight racing. It's very competitive. Frozen having another look down the inside. Van Bergen running off the track. I'm getting a tremendous run off of turn 1. Little bit of contact with Frozen as he tries to squeeze. He's deployed a bit of battery there. I'm going to brake a little bit later. I turned in a bit too early there. I was a bit too kind, and it's cost me because now we both have 6 seconds of penalties. Brian is having a look, deploying as much battery as I can to make sure he stays ahead. I've almost taken myself out there by cutting across him a little bit too early. He had to get on the brakes. As we start the final lap, Frozen running wide there, surely picking up another warning. And we've got drivers basically all over the place. How will this finish? Are we going to be destined for only P9? Or no, there's going to be contact between Snowbody Cares and Van Bergen. Frozen's off the track. Not sure how he got there. I think he might have dived up the inside and run too deep. So we are up into 8th position. Some harvesting of energy going on ahead. We're up the inside of the Sauber. Can we make this P7 on the final lap? Potentially even P6. Although Van Bergen has a penalty. A little bit of squeezing from Nobody Cares there, but we're going to power past that. Oh! Well, that's not the way you want to finish a race. In the barrier, broken front wing, and it's P10 because it allowed Brian to get back through. That was definitely not the way I wanted to finish that race. That was all on me, that incident, and it means it's 10th, but it's a point, and I suppose that's okay. I was last of the finishers, but I was on course for maybe P8, so yeah, that was good fun. I enjoyed that, and yeah, MSR looks like a fun place to go racing. Hopefully I can go racing there sometime again soon, and I look forward to the next time. So if you enjoyed that, leave a nice big thumbs up on the video for me. Subscribe for more F1 and F1 Manager content, and I'll see you next time. You're the best fans. It's bye for now.